Hi! Welcome to Batman Arkham Knight. We're doing AR challenges. This one's a combat one, Iceberg Lounge. I keep calling it Iceberg Lettuce, because I'm a fool. Click the I on the top right for the playlist of all the AR challenges. I'll be working through those, but I probably won't be notifying uploads. So if you are watching this, keep checking back on the playlist if you've got interest in these. I'll try to keep them relatively short, although some of these combat challenges can drag on. Now, I've used Nightwing for this. You won't get on the high score chart with Nightwing because you can only do it with Batman, but you can still earn your 3 stars. I favour Nightwing or Catwoman or Batgirl or yeah, they're kind of the only ones I've tried actually. And this is only my 3rd time on Nightwing, so I don't really know his moveset, but just with attack and counter and the bumping the left trigger for throwing a batarang, although I think he throws one of his tenshu sticks or whatever they're called, to keep guys from charging you down, you can get your score multiplier up very, very high. You'll see it's going up by ×3 when you get a critical strike. And just doing that alone can give you a ridiculous score. I get to about 75,000 and the knife guys start coming. Here we are. There. And a knife counter is worth so many points. I get 20,000 just for that single one. So that's a great way to boost your score as well. The problem with the Nightwings of the world and the faster guys is while they're able to counter mid-strike and are incredibly responsive, they've got no way of permanently destroying weapons. And so what happens as you progress through this is more and more people have shields and stun things, and the medics are electrifying everyone, and it just starts to go south very quickly. Whereas Batman, while being a lot uglier at the beginning because he's slower and it's easy to get slapped in the back when you've just committed to a move, will allow you to kind of crowd control. Well, as I say crowd control, he'll allow you to crowd control a lot more effectively by destroying weapons and ensuring that there aren't too many shields or stun guns in play at any one time. But yeah, as I said, you'll see later on that they all start to have shields, and it makes it really hard if you're trying to attack someone and you just push slightly the wrong way and end up hitting a shield dude by accident. What else can I tell you? Yeah, Nightwing's knife counters as well, blade counters, I find a lot easier to do. He's a lot more forgiving on those. Batman, I think I've probably got one the entire time I've been playing this. I always end up getting sliced. I just haven't quite worked out the timing on it. But you might see that coming up next. But we will run to Batman after this. For now, well, there's another few minutes of Nightwing, just kind of eking the score up slowly. I don't really ever get a big combo going, and as you can see now there are 3 shields in play. And I try and take them all down with the same move at the same time, just because once you're kind of in that pattern of stun, jump, jump, it's easy to do. Weapons as well are pretty effective against those guys, so the fact that you can't destroy the bats is, baseball bats as opposed to, bats the Batman, is kind of beneficial because they're all over the ground. It is a shame that given Nightwing has sticks, he can still be electrocuted. It would be really nice if he couldn't, but I understand why they went for that. It would just be too easy. It would make the medics almost pointless. The other good thing is you don't really have to worry too much about focusing the medics on this one, because actually the guys infinitely spawn. I mean, I presume they do. The guy top on the leaderboard's got like 110 million, which is just ridiculous. But you don't have to focus them too much, because actually if they're just getting people up, that's kind of a win. It means new guys with new weapons aren't coming in. But yeah, you can see I do some moves and I'm not exactly sure how I do them. I'm just sort of muscle memory from Batman, pushing like the disarm button or the air takedown button when there's a few guys on the ground. Having said, he's better at knife dodges and I completely fluffed that one. But yeah, you can see, because I never really then get my score multiplier back up. I'm not sure what that was either, I quite like the look of it. So I need to spend a bit more time. But annoyingly there's no like move list for these guys, which is a little frustrating. I wish there were. You can see their weapons and how to fire them. If you push down on the D-pad, you'll bring up the weapon wheel, and it will show you the quick fire for and the range of gadgets. But again, this one is not so much about variation, and because ultimately he doesn't have a way to destroy weapons. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Because he doesn't have a way to destroy weapons, there's only a limited amount of stuff you can use. He does have the wreck tool, which is good. It kind of keeps those stun guys at bay. But yeah, you can see he won't destroy the shields. He just throws them to the ground, and then some other fool comes along and picks it up. What I do like, though, is his air takedown. I think we've got one coming up in a minute, unless we've already seen it. Is it this one? Yeah, here he kind of pulls them towards you and then does that reverse slam, which is a lot of fun. And then here with the weapon, if you're picking up these bats, you can hit the shield guys, you can hit the club guys, you can punch through weapons pretty effectively, or punch through, yeah, defenses. But now, especially when the blade guys start hitting you and you miss those counters, like I do, that's when your health really starts to go down. You can see I was on pretty much full health for a little bit, but now it's just gone away. The other thing I'll try and do, like with the shields, where you'll just get into a pattern of it, is once there are a few electric guys, then just do a few backlaw pulls to deal with all that electric, because otherwise too many of them will get that, and if you just go for one who's out of sight, it can end in tears very quickly. And you'll see actually my final hit, I think I either attack an electrified guy or an electrified guy clubs me in the back, one or the other. Yeah, there, I just attacked an electrified guy. So yeah, Nightwing is a little harder to maintain, but that beginning section you can just build a 150-200 combo very, very quickly. So 161,000, but again, because it's not Batman, you're not going to get bonus points for anything over 50,000, sadly. With Batman, my previous best score was about 50,000. Maybe 57 or something. I think you saw it at the beginning. I can't quite remember. But again, I just start in the same way, work on just building that combo meter up safely. There's definitely ways to get more points if you use your special move every time it's up to take someone down, but the disadvantage of that is you're going to be taking people down more quickly, and the shields and knives and stun guns and everything else will start appearing much sooner. So I'm a big fan of just letting the meter build up slowly, using the backlaw and the batarang when you need to. Critical strikes, again, give you an extra 3 multiplier, which is good. And this is a move that I really favour. It was quite low scoring there, but if you have a few guys on the ground, tap A and B, the bottom button and the one on the right, and you'll take out everyone on the ground. In a normal challenge map, I'd recommend really heavily against that, because it takes them out for almost no points, and you've got a limited number of people. But here, where you've got an infinite spawn, it's actually a nice way if you've got a few people on the ground to get a few easy points, especially if your multiplier's up. But yeah, Batman much better, just because you can spend a little bit of time. There we go, big old backlaw takedown. You can spend a little bit of time taking out the weapons. He's also got the power wreck as well, the power gel. There we go, there goes the critical meter. It's all over. But yeah, again, I kind of think, okay, so there is a, see, and he can destroy the shield, which is just so much better. If there's a few guys flashing, what I'll do is take a bit of time to just use the backlaw move on all of them. Just do like 1, 2, or 3. Here we go, I think I'll do it again in a second. No. Use that. Oh yeah, okay, what I'm trying to do is build up the attack meter. And then use the weapon destroy. But the problem is, because again, so many, oh not again, I haven't said this before, but because a lot of them have got, yeah, I can't do the blade dodge with him. Because a lot of them have got like bats and knives, what happens is you end up actually disarming the wrong guys. Another good trick is you can jump once, either over someone or just into thin air, and then do a move like the wreck or the explosive gel or the backlaw, and then jump again, whilst keeping your combo meter up. So if you're really stuck in a pack of people who are all electrified or have all got weapons and you're worried about something like that happening, jump out, throw a wreck in, jump out, throw a wreck in, and then let them come to you, you know, backlaw to close back in, or whatever you need to do, or just go attack one on the fringe. Don't forget about using directions, and unlike me, try not to point at someone off screen, because there's a really good chance, especially later in the match, that they've been electrified by a medic and they're just sitting there waiting to be a thorn in your side. Here I go, yeah, this is where I kind of see, okay, there's a handful of electrified guys, I don't want to be doing that, and then just the power takedown as well. Points wise, I think the biggest moves are blade counter, ground takedown, although that's super risky here because obviously you've got guys up all the time. There's a chap running in there, but I don't know. No, I somehow managed to hold my combo there. I think, yeah, the explosive gas. Also, I find the environmental takedowns on this map really tricky. You can see I haven't had a single one, even though guys have been flashing blue a couple of times. What tends to happen is I end up picking up a weapon instead, which is super frustrating. But at some point these guys become not awful to manage. You can see I've just about built up, well, I've built up over 100,000, so this is definitely my best score with Batman. Whereas previously I was treating this like a regular challenge map and trying to get as much variation in early as possible to max out that variation score. All it actually did was overexpose me and put me in trouble, because I'd be sitting there going, okay, hang about, I haven't used gel, I haven't used backlaw, I need to use those, and then I get smacked in the back of the head while I was thinking too much. So by just using attack, because all these guys, I mean, actually I don't know, perhaps as we go on some titans might start to come out. I genuinely haven't made it that far, so if you guys have made it past me, which is entirely possible, let me know how much tougher it gets. But yeah, I'll probably just let the rest of this play out for you. It doesn't get much prettier, I'm afraid. My skill tends to lie in the Predator maps. But the other ones which are timed, well, not timed, but like capped, the ones where you've just got 3 or 4 rounds and the same guys come out every time, they tend to be a little easier, just because you can go, okay, well, what happens here? I've got these 5 guys. I can have a think about what the maximum number of points I can get from that is. So what you want to do, you can go, okay, perfect free flow, that's going to get you some points. Not getting hit, that's going to get you some points. Working out which guy to hit last and being able to get a ground pound on him at the end with like a ×20 multiplier is going to be good. You know what weapons they're going to come out with each round. You know if there are brutes and environment takedowns available, so it does become a little easier to manage. I still can't get anywhere near, top 1,000 scores really. You'll see I think this one comes in at 1,200 or something. So yeah, I think these combat missions belong to the kids with reaction times 1.5 million times better than mine. Quite why I was trying to punch him, I don't know. I was going for a stun, and there we go. Yeah, it's when these knife guys start coming in that your health really starts to melt. I also just start to, because I've lost my rhythm, and because things have got a little bit hairy. You can see here though, this is an old trick that I used in the very first Batman combat challenges, where you get an attack and then jump over someone, because what it does is put you out of the way of whatever attack might be coming in. So you go punch, jump, punch, jump, punch, jump. Oh, there we go, there's our blade takedown, and I genuinely think that's the first one I've ever got in an AR challenge. I've had a couple by luck. There we go, game over. A couple by luck in the game itself, but yeah, again, more by luck than judgment. But you can see 1,500, even if I'd got 3,000 for the variation, or 4,000, I've certainly seen a 2,000 bonus. I don't know what the max gadget variation is. It wouldn't have been huge, right? Like 147,805, it would have been 150 instead. It might have put me, what, 3 or 4 points higher, maybe 50 places higher on the board. But really 3,000 points when you had that 150 multiplier as a single counter. So it's far less important to get that variation on this one. Anyway, that's it for this one now. On the left, the Monarch Lounge, I think, or the Monarch Theatre. I use Azrael there, who's got exactly the same moveset as Batman. And on the right, the Predator mission in Wayne Manor, Wayne Manor, which is really fun. I got a pretty good time for that, I think top 50? Can't even remember now. Anyway, that's it for now. See you in the next video. Bye!